We begin our tour here in the carriage entrance to the mansion. Fairlawn was the home of Martin and Grace Pattison. He was 38 and she was 23 when they met and married in Marquette, Michigan in 1879. They moved to Superior the same year with Martin's brother William and then established a logging business. Later, along with many other business interests, he prospected iron-rich lands in northern Minnesota and retained lucrative shares in the Pioneer and Chandler iron mines near Ely, Minnesota, about 2 hours north of here. Both Martin and Grace were prominent members of the community. Active in politics early on, Martin was a state legislator in Michigan. Here in Superior, he was elected Douglas County Sheriff and also served 3 terms as mayor of Superior. Grace was also active in civic organizations and charity groups. Following Martin's death in 1918, Mrs. Pattison and her youngest daughter Lois moved to California, taking most of their furnishings with them. Over the years, some original family pieces have been donated back to the museum. The light fixture above our heads is an original piece to the home and was designed to use both gas and electric lighting. Electricity was still quite new in 1890, and the dual fixtures provided backup in case power outages. This room was the family library. Some of the volumes you see on the shelves were here when the Pattisons lived in the home. The woodwork is Guatemalan mahogany, and the fireplace is faced in Egyptian marble. The trim around the fireplace is solid silver, and the hearth is English tile. There is a lion design on the walls of the firebox. This fireplace was gas-fired. Martin was active in a number of civic organizations that included the Elks Lodge, the Odd Fellows, and the Masons. The swords above the fireplace belong to Martin, and the gold letters on the bookcase stand for charity, fellowship, and brotherhood, part of the Odd Fellows' creed. Carved into the wood above the firebox are the words, "East or West, home is best," a quote by the Scottish poet Robert Barnes. The original stained glass window shows a lamp, the symbol of knowledge, and the message is Fiat Lux, or let there be light. The picture on the bookcase is of the Pattison children. Martin and Grace had 2 sets of twin daughters. 1 girl from each pair died in infancy. The ceilings on this floor and the home were all hand-painted and stenciled during the restoration to replicate the original ceilings. The ceilings on this floor in the home were all hand-painted and stenciled during the restoration to replicate the original ceilings. The current wool carpets were installed during the restoration. This room immediately inside of the main doors is where the family greeted visitors. The woodwork in this room is cherry. The fireplace is faced in English tile and has a silver trim. This is one of the 2 wood-burning fireplaces in the home. To the right of the fireplace is a buzzer that connected to the bell system that would alert staff when they were needed. The large portrait of Martin, painted just before his death, was donated to Fairlawn by the Masonic Lodge. On each side of the windows are 2 of the original radiators. The house was originally heated with coal-fired systems. This is the main hall of the Pattison home. Guests would have entered the home through these double doors. When the family lived here, the large space would have been elaborately decorated to impress visitors as they arrived. Woodwork in the hall and throughout the main areas of the home is quarter-sawn oak. The leaded glass in the front doors is original. If you look through the windows, you can see the foyer as an original mosaic floor with the initials MP. Looking up, you will see an original light fixture. Construction of the home began in 1888, and the house was completed in 1891. It cost about $150,000 at the time, which is equivalent to $3.7 million today. Grace is reported to have said that the actual cost was nearly $250,000, including furnishings. The home was over 15,000 square feet of living space. The woodwork in the parlor is a white birch, painted in a light ivory color. It was originally gilded with 22-karat gold. This gas fireplace is one of the many unique features of the home because of the split chimney. specially constructed to accommodate the stained glass window. The fireplace is faced with Mexican onyx and trimmed in brass with an English tile hearth. The front turret has 2 window seats, one which still covers a radiator. The white marble statue of Pandora belonged to the Pattison family. It was purchased in Rome on a family trip to Europe. Mrs. Pattison would have likely held meetings of civic groups, concerts, teas, and recitals here. In 1896, it was the site of a double wedding ceremony for 2 of the Pattison nieces, and in 1902, Grace and Martin's daughter Ethel was married here. Music rooms were a common feature in large Victorian homes. They were a place for the family to enjoy both casual and formal entertainment. The woodwork in this room is a solid bird's-eye maple. It is rare and difficult to carve. The eyes are caused by distortion in the growth ring of the tree. The ceiling is curved for sound amplification, and the window behind the piano features curved glass. This home originally had a baby grand piano. The screen standing in the corner also belonged to the family. It was designed to separate the music room from the parlor and features images depicting the 4 seasons hand-painted on velvet. This room is the conservatory. A large glass and steel greenhouse once stood on the lawn just beyond this room and housed many exotic plants, fruits, and some vegetables. It was removed during the children's home era. The Pattisons used this room to keep a variety of houseplants. Originally, this room had a 14-foot-high ceiling, large transom windows, a gray and blue tiled floor, and a small sink on the wall. During the children's home era, it was sometimes used as a dentist's office. As we move into the dining room, please pay attention to the door you'll be walking under. It is called a guillotine, or a jib door, and slips into the ceiling when open. It is one of the unique features of Fairlawn, and operates using weights and pulleys to raise and lower the door. There is another guillotine door in this room opening to the side porch. The dining room is furnished with many original Pattison family pieces, including the needlepoint chairs from Grace's California home. Each one features a different design completed by Grace Pattison. The beautiful built-in sideboard displays some of the Pattisons' family silver, including the flatware set given to one of their daughters. The fireplace tile was created by the Low Tile Works of Chelsea, Massachusetts, a high-quality American tile maker of the day. The fireplace was gas-fired and trimmed in brass. The painting above the fireplace also belonged to the Pattisons. The woodwork in this room is a quarter-sawn white oak. The walls are stenciled and hand-painted. The door between the dining room and the pantry was likely a swinging door. This pantry was remodeled prior to 1998 restoration. A dumbwaiter once existed in the corner of the back pantry to bring up food from the basement to the kitchen. The tile on the landing floor is original. The fireplace in the corner was designed using the same tile as the floor. The woodwork is a quarter-sawn white oak. Notice the details of the curved mantel and the unique ironwork design over the firebox. This is one of the 2 wood-burning fireplaces in the home. The stained glass window you see above your head is original. It is a decorative feature of the air shaft that allows air to circulate through the home. The clock on the landing is on loan to us from the Pattison family. The family reports it was purchased by Martin during a trip to Chicago at the World's Fair in 1893. The 2 brass wall light fixtures are original to the home. The blue tinted glass shades match the fixture in the carriage hall and the main entrance. The original use of this room is unknown. Evidence suggests that it was a sewing room during the Pattison era and used as a washroom in the children's home era. The room has original curved glass windows. This room had multiple uses. When there was an infant in the house, it was used as the family nursery. At other times, it was Grace's sitting room. During the children's home era, the room was used as a nursery. The battleship linoleum on the floor was most likely added at that time. Considered unsafe for children, all the fireplaces on the second floor were removed to be stored in the basement, except for the one in this room. This room was Grace Pattison's bedroom. The silver items and the photographs displayed in the closet are family pieces donated to the museum by Grace's granddaughter. The view from the alcove overlooking Lake Superior is one of the best from any daily living spaces in the house. When the home was built, there was no highway here, and Barker's Island did not exist. The wood in this bedroom is curly maple, and the ceiling was originally painted with vines and roses. The next two rooms comprise the master suite. This small room was originally Martin's bathroom and dressing room. It had hot and cold running water. The fixtures were all removed at some point. The next larger room and turret area were Martin's bedroom and sitting room. They were originally painted with white daisies on the ceiling. Along the wall is a fainting couch, amply named for its purpose. With their tight corsets, women might faint when the corset was loosened at the end of the day because a sudden rush of oxygen made them lightheaded. Martin passed away in this room on December 20th, 1918, of complications from diabetes. He was 77 years old. Grace Pattison passed away over a decade later in California. She was also in her mid-70s. These two needlepoint coat of arms depict the two family names. Martin was originally born with the name Simon Martin Thayer. His family moved to Michigan early in his life, but he and his brother William became successful in lumber trade. Martin also partnered with a man named Joe Murdoch and eventually married Murdoch's sister Isabella. They had 2 children. Martin abandoned this family in 1872 to return to Canada. He later resettled in Marquette, Michigan, using his mother's maiden name, Pattison, as did his brother William. This room would have been the family bedroom. We now see it as an office and a working space for the staff of Superior Public Museums. This bedroom was Byron's. He was the only Pattison son. During the children's home era, it served as the nursery or a playroom. This small bedroom may have been a servant's room or a guest room. To the left is an original cedar closet. It would have housed linens, furs, and other fabric items to protect them from light and insects. A dumbwaiter was located just around the corner in the back hall. It was used to move laundry, food, and other items and opened on all 3 floors and in the basement. These are the back of the servants' staircases. In most large Victorian homes, domestic staff were not to be seen in the family rooms or public rooms. They were expected to clean or tend to duties only when no one was in the room. They used these stairs to move about the house. Many of the Pattisons' domestic workers were Scandinavian immigrants. The larger room would have been one of the staff bedrooms. Women lived in the main house and men lived in the carriage house. There would have been 8 to 12 staff working here at any time, more when there were still horses to be cared for. This room would have likely accommodated more than one woman. The dumbwaiter, a servant's entrance to the bathroom, and additional staff space were located down this hall. The dumbwaiter brought the food and drink up from the kitchen for guests when Pattisons were entertaining. The room to the right served as a second dining room for guests when they were entertaining on the 3rd floor. To your right, as you enter the main hall, is a display of artifacts from some of the domestic staff that came to work at Fairlawn. It is said that the Pattisons were very good to their staff. The large room and the small one to the left were game rooms. The smaller room was a smoking or a poker room, and the large room was a billiard room. The original decorated walls in the billiard room were painted with a yellow and green leaf design. The poker room retains the original curved glass windows. The next room is the ballroom. Today, little is known about the original decorations of this room, but we can expect that it is similar to the billiard room. Grace was active in civic organizations and charity groups. She was a founder and active member of the Superior Children's Home and Refugee Association. When she decided to move to California, she donated Fairlawn to serve the needs of homeless children and families in the community. The Superior Children's Home and Refugee Association was founded in 1904 and existed until it vacated Fairlawn in 1962. The association was formed to assist the community in caring for homeless, orphaned, or abandoned children and families in need. During the years, it was the children's home for over 2,000 children that lived. Population varied in size and makeup, but there were usually 45 to 50 children in the home at any time. The children's home closed in 1962, partly due to lack of funding and in part due to changes in society's ideas concerning the care of children. Today, the ballroom features an exhibit from the restoration project. The turret room holds the original spiral staircase up to the Widow's Walk, an open-air balcony or cupola. Looking at the turret windows, you see Barker's Island. There were additional features of the home that were quite unique for the time. When constructed, the basement included an unheated, room-sized plunge pool and two-lane bowling alley. The house had an elevator. We believe it was installed after the building was completed to assist the Pattisons' youngest daughter, Lois, in moving between the first and second floor. A carriage house used to sit where the gift shop is now. It was a large 3-story structure and had space for horses, carriages, and the male staff. Martin used this as his personal office, and it was filled with mementos, as you can see in the photograph to the left of the shelf. In addition to Fairlawn, Martin built a cabin on the island on Birdseye Lake near Ely, Minnesota, that he named the Leisure Lodge. It is still owned by the family. This is the only remaining example of an original hand-painted ceiling. It was painted using water-based paint and had been protected by drop ceiling. It has recently been stabilized by professionals.